We don't want to get one at
Everybody, we are live. Are we all ready? Get your drinks.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Cool. All right, so welcome to the final tribal council of Survivor Sacred Valley. This is a Survivor org Wikia first. We've never had a semi-live tribal council before, so that's very exciting. We're really looking forward to hearing everyone's speeches and getting some good questions in and helping the jurors make up their mind as to who they're going to vote for the fake $1 million. So we're going to start off with our opening statements. So each of you is going to get a short time to address the jury firsthand and say whatever you want to say to set up your argument for why you should win, why you should get their vote. And then once we do those, we will move on to the jury questions. So is there anybody who would like to start to be the first opening statement?
I forgot we had to make them. It's been so long since I've got to the end. I forgot about this. I'm like, Jesus, I need a speech.
Don't steal my speech, Michelle.
If Michelle needs time, I can go first.
You can go first.
I'm really easy. I don't care.
Okay, well, Curtis said it first. So, Curtis, you will be up and you will have your opening statement, and then I will go on to the next person.
Okay.
So, let's see.
Should I be starting?
Oh, Curtis, I love you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hello. I want to start by saying that when I'm on a jury, I vote kind of like erratically. I don't have like one way I vote all the time. So your vote is your vote. And if you don't vote for me, there's no hard feelings. If you're voting for like the kindest and best person, you're voting for Michelle. If you're voting for the most socially like active and apt, you're voting for Kai. I think if you're voting for who played the game the best, though, you are voting for me. I think I do deserve the win. I deserve your vote. I think Spencer's right that I've played a nearly flawless game, especially after the merge. The only mistake that I think was made by all three of us was the Corey vote in trusting Lee, and we all should have lost after that vote. We all three got lucky, and we all were able to recover. I think after that point, my degree of difficulty was a lot higher than both Kai and Michelle's. Coming into the merge, I had nobody that are like my friends from beyond this game, like the Camis, the Serenas, the Hollies were all out long before then. So I had to rely on connections that I was making in this game and in this game only. So I met Kai and Michelle in the game early on. We became a team. I have nothing but awesome things to say about them. And they're definitely part of the reason why I was able to be successful. But I think I made a lot of moves on my own as well. The first one was idling out Megan. Kai did give me that idol. I think that benefited her game and it benefited my game. The decision to take out Megan was mine because I wanted the 4 Tumblr people to go into the merge together so they would look like a bigger target. I feel like having Megan and 3 Tumblr people would leave it a little bit, the game too open for them. I wanted them to kind of be locked in together, especially after seeing how tight they were on that tribe. I think I used the summit to my advantage more than anybody. After the Josh vote, I flowered immediately after that challenge, went to the summit, was not successful. I had the idea to wake up in the middle of the night and count to 10 in the chat, which I think successfully threw people into thinking I had an idol and kept me from being a target at that point. And I think that was a big reason why the side with the power at that point, the Tumblr side, chose to vote out Lee at that next tribal because they were fearful of an idol. And then obviously I used my other flower to get the idol that helped me kind of make the biggest move of the game, which was taking out Nikki. It felt shitty to do, but it was something I think that was necessary to do. And since then I've talked to Kai and she said, yeah, I couldn't have voted out Nikki. So if I didn't do that, I would have been out at 5 because Spencer had 1 immunity at that point and it would have been me. I think that I timed that perfectly. People wanted me to take out Kai at 7. I knew that if I did that, I wouldn't make the end. I don't think that Logan, Fox, and Spencer were really going to go to the 4 with me at that point. So I knew that was not the time to do it. I waited till 6. I did it the right way. I did it the right time. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I'm nervous, but I am. So I got here with two people. That I really like and respect. So if either of them win, I am all good. But I do think that I worked hard for this, and I deserve a shot at your vote.
Okay.
But that's it.
So
Me, I guess.
I don't.
Okay, just like Curtis, I'm also really nervous. I did make a few notes just because when I get nervous, I forget things. So first of all, I started playing this game. I hadn't played an org in 6 years, and I started playing this game because I was like stuck in lockdown. As we know, the lockdown in Melbourne was one of the harshest ones in the world. So first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to the hosts and to the other players for helping me get through that time. I know that doesn't really have anything to do with the game, but it's the reason that I'm here. I came in to just have fun, and I feel like I accomplished that. I definitely had a couple of low points throughout the game, which would have included Corey going, Josh going, because I felt like I was very much on the bottom at that stage. However, I managed to claw my way back up to the top again, despite the fact that everybody said that I was most likely to win the game. I still managed to find myself sitting here. I feel like I did a lot for my alliances. I did give Curtis that idol at the three-way tribal, and as Curtis mentioned, he did get an idol later on, and not to diminish your game, Curtis, but you got one color at the summit and I got two. And then I sat down and worked down all the permutations for my alliance so that we could make sure that idol was ours. The only big move that I think that I missed out on was Nikki going, but as Curtis said, I wasn't going to vote for Nikki anyway, and after that he promised loyalty to Michelle and I, which he had already obviously promised earlier in the game. However, to ensure that fact for myself, I got a hidden immunity idol, and then I went to the summit and got that idol so that I could play one on myself and one on Michelle in the final 5. I won challenges. I think I won 3 challenges, and I was the runner-up in quite a few of the challenges as well. I tried not to lie unnecessarily. I know I lied a bit here and there. I feel like, that is part of the game. I feel like I played a very strong social game, and I had great relationships. For me, the best part of the game was when we were at Final 9, and we would all go on and play like Among Us and Jackbox games. So huge props to like Logan, Jules, Nikki, Chris, Fox, Curtis when he came on, and Michelle. Like, that was so much fun. And for me, like I said, it was getting me through lockdown. So that was awesome. One of my biggest moves, I would say, was getting the Tumblr to vote for Lee. I feel like I was very vocal about that vote, being like, we need to vote Lee out, and also getting out one of the biggest threats in the game, which was Jules. So I feel that I outwitted. I think that I outplayed, and I think that I obviously outlasted. I enjoyed my time, and I enjoyed getting to know the cast. So hopefully I can answer your questions in the best way possible. But really, I guess I just want to say thanks. Good luck with your decision, and congratulations to Michelle and Curtis as well.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I got to speak to everyone who's on jury, obviously. I had a tough game. I was in a tribe, and at the beginning, and I thought that it was all planned and we were voting out Megan, and I literally wake up and I'm gone. Didn't get the chance to sort of talk through the night when everyone had suddenly made their decision, and I'm suddenly at the summit and I'm fighting my way back in. So I did that, and then I came back and I decided to go into a tribe with Kai, because Kai is someone that I've known from life, not generally from games, and then get there for a little while, and then I'm swapped, thank God, with some other people that I knew, and that was when Curtis came back to us at Sabaya and was scared to talk to me and thought I'd be after him. But generally, Curtis is a nice guy. So I could feel that deep down, even though I'm like, I want to get rid of everyone who did me wrong. But that's where our 3 alliance sort of began way back then. Then there was another swap, and I was just in all sorts of problems. And I knew I wouldn't last through that. And I was off to the summit again. So there come the bloody red cups again. So Yeah, I had to work my way back in again. Finally got back in, got to the merge, and we thought it was all hunky-dory. Everything was going to go fine. You know, because we had sort of Corey and Lee on the outs before merge and didn't know whether to vote for Corey or Lee. We did Corey. I think we should have done Lee in the end. But after merge, obviously Lee flipped, and then we were in all sorts of problems and really had to work hard talking to people and try to get us back in there. I mean, the core alliance of us was Nikki as well. Us four, we had a chat, and I don't think anyone really knew that Curtis was with us. I think a lot of people thought it was just Kai, and then and maybe Kai was with Nikki, and then Curtis was a floater, and but we were cement for quite a while. You know, I always wanted to go after Megan because she was the one who went after me on the first vote. And so I was always throwing Megan's name out there, even if it wasn't the best choice. And then finally she went. It was a shock when Nikki went because we were supposed to go to the end. But as I've said before, everyone in this game, everyone's such lovely people. And it felt bad voting people off. Even, you know, even Chris, who I didn't really talk to after that first day, I really felt bad voting him off because he's just such a nice person. So I think I tried hard, you know, going to Summit twice, coming back, having 2 tribe swaps, being on the bottom, and trying my best to keep up the social game so that we could go forward. I'm not very strong at challenges, except for the ones at the Summit. Endurance challenges, yeah, I can do those. They're a piece of cake, but other things not so much. So good luck to my alliance, Curtis and Kai. I don't hold any bad feelings against either of you winning. I mean, obviously I want to win because I only ever won one org, but anyway, that's it.
Uh-oh.
You did.
Okay, thank you, all of you. That was very well done. So now we're going to get into the jury questions. And first up, we have Chris, who was not able to be with us tonight, but he sent in a video. There are parts of his video for each of you to address, so I'm going to go through and then we'll pause after each person, and you will have a chance to respond to Chris, and then we'll go on. So let me just get that set up.
Hi, Final Three. It's Christy here. I just wanted to start off by saying that I think you all played a really good game, and I'm very proud of how far the 3 of you were able to make it. But with that being said, I do have a couple of questions. I want to start with Michelle. It's no secret that you and I didn't really have a relationship in this game. I mean, I voted you out twice, and then at the merge, we didn't speak. I don't think I had a single conversation with you during my merge game. And I can't really recount a time when you were around in the tribe chat. So I don't know anything about your game at all, besides what people are telling me. And every time people are telling me stuff about your game, it always involves Michelle, or I'm sorry, it always involves Nikki and Kai. So my question for you, Michelle, is was there a move that you had initiated, or was there a move that you made that didn't have anything to do with your dependency on your alliance? So I would just like to hear that from Michelle.
Okay. In Survivor, in the game of Survivor, I tend to do things with my alliance. I won't go off and just decide on a move and do it by myself. I think that's just a bit renegade and setting yourself up for failure. So I would always talk about what we were doing as an alliance. It doesn't always mean that the idea came from other people. I think we all talked together about what we were going to do. Sometimes it wasn't all four of us. Sometimes it was just Kai and I talking together. It was sometimes hard for all four of us to be on at the same time. But I think because of time zones, you put your ideas forward and then they're either taken up or another idea comes out. I can't think of one particular idea that just one person had that no one else really agreed with, or I think we all were on the same page of how we needed everything to go.
Kai, my next question for you. So I feel like you and I actually played similar games. Whether you agree or disagree with that, that's up to you. But you and I both found a group and stuck with it. I was kind of forced into my Tumblr Survivor group because everybody just assumed that the 4 Tumblrs were going to stick together. But you also stuck with your iSurvivor group. And you had approached me and said that if we wanted to make a move, we should have voted, one of us out to approach other people to create new paths and new relationships in the game. But it didn't seem like you were ever really willing to turn on your alliance. So it's kind of contradictory that you were telling me to do something that you were not willing to do yourself. And I thought that your rites of passage about me was very interesting in that out of all the conversations we had, you decided to pick the moment of you shutting me down to work with you. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was kind of rude. And I felt like you didn't feel like giving me the time of day game-wise. I had really wanted to work with you. That's why I told you about the stuff with Lee, and you just didn't really seem to give me a chance. Again, whether you agree or disagree with that, that's up to you, but that's how I felt. So, Kai, my question for you is, why should I give you my vote when you couldn't be bothered to give me the time of day game-wise? We did have conversations about personal stuff, so that was nice. But in terms of just game, you never gave me a chance.
Okay, I am going to agree with a lot of things that Chris has actually said there, because absolutely I could have brought up different things in our rites of passage, and I definitely agree that I was contradictory in the way that I was telling him that he needed to vote out a Tumblr in order for us to be able to trust him. However, that was part of my game, because obviously I needed him to vote out a person from the Tumblr group in order for myself to get further. So I can understand why that's contradictory. I do not think it was the best thing for his game, but that's the thing that I was going to tell him was the best thing for his game. So sorry, Chris. I definitely agree with what you're saying there. I think one of the biggest reasons why I didn't give you the time of day, and I'm really sorry for this, is because the other people from the Tumblr group tended to make that little bit of effort with me prior to you making it. So you're correct. I probably did write you off in the game a little bit earlier than I should have. And I agree with what you're saying about the fact that we are very similar players as well. But the day that, even before, was it before? No. The day Chris got voted out, I think it was, no, it was Jules got voted out. Jules and Logan made an alliance with Nikki and I. And Fox had already approached us. So, I mean, no disrespect to Chris whatsoever. It's just that we did have a lot more personal talk. And I feel like tried to make that gameplay with me a little bit later than everybody else had. And maybe that's why I wrote you off. So I'm sorry for that. to answer his question, I think that you should give me your vote if you think that I played the best game. If you don't think that I played the best game, then I think that you should give your vote to somebody else. Like, that's 100% your prerogative. But definitely sorry for writing you off when I shouldn't have.
Curtis, I did feel like you and I were super, super close. And I think our relationship started to fall apart after the first time I tried to vote you out. And I wanted to explain to you that I don't know if you probably don't believe me at all. And I will say now, because I don't have anything to lose from saying it, that I did try to save you. I did try to get the votes off of you. Whether you believe me or not, I can't really make you believe me, but that is the truth. And I felt like you never forgave me for that. And I'm also finding out that you are not very nice when it comes to talking about anyone in this cast. Like, you would come to me to talk shit about other people in the game, but then, for example, you would come and talk shit to me about Lee, but then you'd run to Lee and talk shit to Lee about me. And you did that, it seemed like, with everybody. And it just is really confusing to me. Why, like, didn't that get exhausting? Like, I guess I just want to know why should that kind of behavior be rewarded? Because a lot of people on the jury are feeling hurt by you, especially by your behavior, by your actions, and by your words. I know that this is a game for $0, but you know, people have emotions, people have feelings, and it's just really a shame that it seemed like you really didn't care too much about the other people in this game. So I would like to hear why I should vote for that kind of behavior. That's it. I'm done. Truthfully, no hard feelings on my end. You guys did what I wanted to do, but I couldn't do. So my hat is off to all three of you. So good job, good luck, and I will talk to you later.
Okay, so one thing I'm not gonna do tonight is I'm not gonna be made to feel like a bad person, and I'm not. I know who I am. I know I have an acerbic tongue. I know I'm moody. I know that I make humor at other people's expenses sometimes. I also know I make humor at my own expense most of the time too. And I know that every single person I was talking to was willing to laugh with me and throw it right back at me the entire time. So if Chris is gonna say that he wasn't talking shit about Lee at the same time, and Lee was gonna say he wasn't talking shit at Chris at the same time, for example, then we're not gonna do that. Okay, so if I honestly hurt anybody's feelings, I am very sorry. I don't think that's the case. I don't think I was horrible. I think I was playing a game. I think maybe my attempts to be funny fall short sometimes, but I don't think I was in any way like a bully or stepped over the line for anything. And if that's how you want to vote, that's fine. Again, everybody votes for different reasons, and that if that's the case, Michelle wins because she is the best person I have met. She has never said a bad word about anybody, and she would deserve your vote in that case.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you to all three of you. We're going to bring in our next juror who is waiting backstage, and that is Josh.
You're muted.
Can you guys hear me now? Okay, sorry, I didn't realize that. Oh no. What I said was that my three favorite Somebody people sitting in the final three. How ironic is that?
Yay!
But yeah. So congrats to all three of you. My vote is who's talking in the background? Hold on.
Is Josh also still in this call?
Oh, give me a second. Sorry.
Are you playing another game right now?
No. Like I'm in the Ponderosa chat. That's what's happening. I'm sorry. Anyways, I cut that out of there. Okay, so let me be legit about this. So obviously, my vote is really up in the air. I really don't know what I'm gonna do. I love all three of you. It's just the fact that like each of you have like played very different games, and honestly, I respect each of you guys' gameplay of how you guys got to this point. I will say, Michelle, you're probably gonna have the biggest uphill battle compared to Curtis and Kai, since I felt like they've done more to where they got where they are today. So if you really want me to cast your my vote to you, you really got to sell the rest of your arguments towards the rest of the jury members, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit hard for you. But I have a general question for all three of you. You guys can start however you like, but let's just say the circumstances were changed and we live in this alternate reality that the six of us did make final six. At that point, who was your ideal final three, and if so, why?
I'll go first, and I'm just going to be honest, but my ideal final three was obviously me, Nikki, and Michelle, because we did start this game. We were all from the same, platform, and I do actually know both Nikki and Michelle. There's a picture of me and Nikki right here. I do actually know both of them in person. Personal game aside, obviously, if the the five of us could have got there, then that would have been fabulous. But I would definitely say that those were my top two.
Okay.
Sorry, just being honest.
My answer probably isn't going to please you, but I did not have, that's not how I play the game. I didn't go into merge saying, okay, these three are going to be my top three. I couldn't, right? Just like I didn't know what I was going to do to Nikki all the way back at that time either, right? I had to look at the board in front of me, see I need to do something or I'm not going to get to the end, and then I chose to take out Nikki, right? So all six of us did happen to make final six. Obviously, I would have had to make a move with you against the girls. Like I knew that much, you know what I'm saying? But if at that point you had won 5 immunities, right, and you were looking like the biggest threat, I would have had to do something about you. You know what I mean? Just based on whatever happened in the game, I would have had to make the decision. I think that is something that sets me apart from Michelle and Kai, is I didn't have something locked in. I was willing to be flexible, and I think I made the right moves at the right time, right? And I think because we were clipped when you were clipped, I was kind of locked into this group. Not that I was upset to be locked in with this group, but I didn't have the freedom to maneuver as I wish I would.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Josh. So at merge, when there was 6 of us, Nikki's a hard player. I've never played a game with her, even though I know her. And you know what? I never felt totally comfortable. Sorry, Nikki, that she would keep me around, because she's going to go for her best game. So if it would be top 3, it was. And if it wasn't Nikki, then it was going to be you or Curtis, because I trusted you two equally at that point. Yeah.
Okay. That's all I needed to hear. I'm happy for all three of you. My vote is still going to be tossed up in the air. I will look forward to see the rest of the jurors' questions towards you guys, and then from that point, maybe I'll make my decision then. But in the meantime, I love you guys, and good luck for the rest of the night.
Thanks, Josh.
All right,
Bye.
Thanks, Josh. That was great. So we will have our next juror in just 1 second. They are logging on right now.
This is a pretty cool platform, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's fun to move people around on my screen. I'm in control. All right, looks like we have our next juror here, so we are going to hear from Logan.
Am I good to go? Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. So before I get into whatever I'm going to do, I just wanted to clear a few things up. Curtis, I was going to take you to the end. And Kai, I was kidding when I called you a jerk. I love you, and I think you're fabulous. So I think that Survivor has a lot of different things that go into it, right? There's the strategy portion, there's challenges, there's social games, all of those fun things. But I think there's a secret 4th component that nobody really likes to acknowledge, but it's totally there, and that's luck, right? I think all of you had some aspect of luck to get to where you are right now, here at the end. And during the game, a lot of people thought that I was like this chaotic player, right? And there was one thing that I always wanted more than anything, and that was rocks. So tonight, we're going to draw rocks for a winner. I have ping pong balls from the summit, one for each of you, and I drew a little symbol. So Michelle, tonight you're the diamond. Because you were indestructible, you came back from the summit twice. Curtis, you're a star because you lit up every room that you entered. And Kai, you're the heart because you had so much passion in your game. So I'm going to put all of these little ping pong balls in this hat right here. Okay, so you know I'm not rigging or anything. It's empty. So here's Curtis's, Michelle's, and Kai's. And I'm going to twirl it around a little bit, and whichever one I draw is who I'm going to vote for, okay? So this is one vote guaranteed for you guys, whoever I draw. Whenever you guys want me to draw it, just put your thumbs up, okay?
This is so funny.
All right.
I'm so scared.
I have the one in my hand. Are you ready?
Oh,
No.
Okay, the person getting my vote is, I don't even know who it is. Kai.
Oh, Kai.
So congrats, Kai. You get one vote.
no, you're not a jerk either. No, everywhere.
All right, Ari, do I just leave? I don't know. Okay,
Thank
well,
Yeah.
It was adorable.
bye, y'all.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was quite something. We'll see if that actually turns out to be how Logan votes. Who knows? But next up, we have Jules.
Hello, am I here? Oh my god, I'm so dark. Okay, great, dope. I did not think of my question until literally about 2 minutes ago. So excuse me if this is a little rambly. I just want to say, sort of for your own benefit, reading the room of the jury, like the whole, I'm sorry, this is mostly aimed at you, Curtis. The whole I'm sorry if my jokes and personality offended you thing is not a great explanation when people are asking you about stuff. So basically, I'm going to give you a little bit of a chance here. I want everyone to say, there's one person in the game that I think became sort of an easy joke, and it turned into sort of a Mean Girls table thing. So I would love to hear everyone say something specific and not just, oh, he's nice or anything like that, about Lee as a person, not about his game. I just want to hear a specific thing that you can say nice about Lee Lewis.
Do you mind if I go first?
Yeah, go whatever order you want.
Okay. I'm going to say that I agree with you, and I didn't also enjoy that it became kind of a Mean Girls thing. And when we did that like t-shirt competition, I was the one who wrote the Leave Lee Alone, because like Leave Britney Alone, I was like, it's tiresome. But not to say that I didn't join in on the jokes to fit in with the group. I spent a little bit of time with Lee and talking to Lee when we were making our video, and from that point, like, I know you want us to not say that he's just nice, but not only was he nice, but he was funny. And the videos that he got sent such a short brief from Josh about what he needed to do, and his videos were fucking fantastic. Sorry for my swearing. So I really enjoyed that. But on top of that, when I did the endurance challenge with the knife, and Lee, you can be testament to this. Lee and I, everybody else had dropped out, and it was just Lee and I who were there. And we actually had a really good conversation. I had spoken to him about things outside of the game as well, and know a little bit about Lee's life. I really respect Lee as a person. You can see, even just looking at his Facebook page, his like political stances and that sort of thing. But he was just generally a fun person who wanted to enjoy the game and enjoy life. And I feel like he was kind of put into a bit of a situation. In saying that, I definitely spearheaded the Let's Vote Lee out because it was better for my game. But I know that he was kind and generous, and he can say that I was actually going to let him win that challenge, but unfortunately his cup fell before, like accidentally, before I had dropped mine. But I think that he's a very kind, generous person who really cares about his friends, and obviously came into this game to play hard and play differently than he had played previously, as I saw from his quotes and stuff. And I do think that he's a good person.
Yeah, obviously he's a good person. I think the thing that impressed me most about Lee is that he stuck to his morals when Cammy was on our team. He said he didn't want to vote a person of color off. That would have been his easy avenue. Go to Chris and Megan, vote against Cammy, who's one of my best friends in the world, and everybody knew it. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. It resulted in him getting voted out because I tried so hard to convince Chris to get Megan out. He wasn't willing to do that, and I couldn't burn Chris at that point. But Lee stuck to his morals. It resulted in him getting voted out. Even he stuck to his morals. So that's what I appreciate most about Lee.
Well, Lee and I were in the first tribe together. We chatted, obviously, but then he voted me out. So the next time we were together, gosh, it was with the video, but he wasn't there when we had to do the video, so we missed the opportunity to bond a little bit more. When we came back together again, it was after the summit, and we sort of bonded over both being voted out twice, and wanting to go further together because we'd had the hard yards of having to get back into the game. And we chatted then. At one point, he sent me something by accident, which was funny. He said, yeah, final 3 together. And I wrote back to him, what? Who are you talking about? But then he sort of disregarded it, which is fine. I never had anything against him. He was just really quiet. And except for the time when we were chatting quite a bit about trying, to get further because we'd both been voted out twice.
Okay, cool. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Jules. And next up, we have Nikki.
Hello, Alliance. How are you? Very excited to see you guys in the end. I have a question for you guys. I'm just curious because you all have different ideas when it comes to jury management. I've seen some really different things and some questionable things. So I just want to get an idea of what you guys think is good jury management, how you played the jury, like how you managed jury management in this game.
I can go first this time. I think the whole idea of jury management is questionable sometimes, and people act fake sometimes to keep the jury on their side. And I'm not like that. I mean, mind you, I loved everyone in the cast, and I'm not saying that to say it. Truthfully, and I didn't talk to people anymore when I knew they were going to be voted out than I would normally. I don't butter people up. I take my game as people need to see it for what it is rather than me trying to suck up to them, as Aussies would say.
For me, again, I think Chris was taking a shot at me when he was like, oh, there's not $1 million. I'm like, yeah, there's not $1 million. So I'm not going to change my entire personality to please a jury that may or may not vote for me at the end of a game. That said, like in this game, I think I win if people are voting on who played the best strategic game. So that is my jury management. If people are thinking that way when they vote, and there's no legitimate or illegitimate way to think about voting for a winner, I do stand by that. But I think if people are thinking about who played the best strategic game, it's me. And so that is my jury management. The game speaks for itself.
I will say that for me, it's not even so much about the jury management, but I like my whole philosophy on Survivor and the game is that the more people like you, the more they don't want to vote you out. So for me, I go into the game to make genuine connections. Like I wasn't sitting there on Zoom calls with like you, Jules, Chris, and Logan just because I wanted their votes. It was because I genuinely like people. And that's the kind of person that I am. Like I made genuine connections. And I would say with each and every person who is there on the jury, because that's how I play the game of Survivor. So I guess that kind of flows into jury management, but for me it's just more about getting to know the people because I like meeting new humans.
Thanks for your answers. I didn't really get, I'm not sure if I'm allowed a follow-up question, Ari?
Okay, you can go ahead.
Yeah. I didn't really get what I was looking for. Maybe I'll like say a statement just from Curtis, because I feel like there was times in the game where you kept like telling the other side that like, oh, like we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And you didn't need to lie to them at that point. We had the majority. We didn't need to like keep bringing them around. It was like with Fox and Spencer and Logan. I don't think it was like really necessary to keep stringing them along. So that to me was bad jury management, like to keep lying to them when we weren't even asking you to lie to them at that point. We knew where the idol was. We knew they didn't have it. Like,
Right. Okay. So from my perspective, you knew these people before you started playing the game. I met all three of you during this game, right? So I get that you guys were loyal to me and I really cherish that. But in the middle of everything, how am I supposed to know you're not going to turn on me? So I tried to position myself in the middle constantly so that if something were to happen, I'd hear about it. Again, that's what I was discussing earlier when I said the degree of difficulty for me was higher because of the merge. I didn't have those people that I knew for a fact I could lean on. Is it overly cautious? Maybe, but I don't regret doing it. And I don't think that's bad jury management because I don't think especially Fox and Spencer see what I did as irrelevant. And as soon as Final Four happened, there were no idols in the game, or Final Five even, there's no idols in the game, there's nothing happening. The idols were a Kai at that point. But when all the variables were set in stone, I didn't lie. But when they weren't set in stone, I did. And it's Survivor, and you can lie.
I think you should have voted out Kai instead of me, but all right, that's my last thing. All right, love you guys. Bye. I don't know how to leave.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Okay, and now speaking of someone we were talking about earlier, it is time to hear from Lee.
Hey guys, congrats on making the final three.
You're muted, Lee. I don't know if that's accidental.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Hello?
Hi. Congrats on making final three, guys. I kind of speculated that like at least 2 out of 3 would be here. So I was trying my hardest to like take a shot at you guys, but you guys still managed to make it to the end. Kai and Michelle, my question for you guys are, who are your favorite Survivor players, and do you feel like you played the game the way they did?
No. My favorite Survivor player is Parvati, and I certainly didn't I don't think that I played the game in the way that she did, aside from, I guess, being loyal to my girls. I would say that the Survivor player that I most relate to playing like is probably Todd, without the addiction. But that's just my opinion. You guys can have your own opinion of me.
For me, my favorite Survivor player is Sari. I think I needed to talk a lot more to have been like Sari. Obviously, time zones stopped me doing that. If the same time zones were around, then I would have talked a lot more, talked a bit more strategy perhaps. but I was very comfortable in my alliance as long as I could get back in from the summit. I mean, you know about that, Lee, being summit twice yourself. So you don't know where you're going, and then there's the 2 tribe swaps, so you're all over the shop. And yeah, I mean, I love Sarie, but I don't think I played exactly like her.
Okay, I definitely can appreciate the story arcs that you guys have. My next question is for Curtis. Curtis, coming in to the jury and then like hearing people come in after like me come in the jury. I kind of was someone that appreciated your game. Kind of like, oh, I see like Curtis, you know, playing the game, but like I also heard that like you had a lot of negative things to say about me. So I'm just like coming to you just to see if you can like tell me to my face like negative things that you said about me. Like I just want to know like the things that you said. I don't know any of the things, like nobody went into details. So I'm just curious as to like what jokes you had about me or like the negative things that you had to say about me.
Yeah, I think they don't have any details because I really didn't say anything negative about you as a person. I said negative stuff about your gameplay because it was erratic. It didn't make sense. You called me backstabbing Curtis, and then you went on to backstab me and stuff like that, right? It's game stuff. So that's the stuff I was talking about, and all these like patron saints in the jury that never said anything. It was just fun back and forth. It was never anything meant to be malicious or like let's malign this guy's character or anything like that. So I think it's being made into something that it's not. But again, Lee, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, and I think.
Oh, my feelings are not hurt. Nobody can hurt my feelings.
Okay, good. So yeah, so that's it. I did like talk crap about your game in a way, in a joking way, not in a like an evil spirited way. So yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's all the questions that I have for you guys. Congrats on making final 3, and I'm excited for whoever's going to be crowned the winner.
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. Really appreciate that. All right, so we're getting down to it. We just have a couple more jurors, and then we'll finish off and let you guys do some closing statements if you would like. So next up, we're going to hear from Fox.
Hi, how's it going, guys? I hope you guys are doing well. Congratulations, you kicked 17 people's ass to be here. So that's a huge accomplishment. And I also want to say that I genuinely enjoyed ever playing this game. It was an awesome experience. I think we all sort of had the opportunity to make this sort of our own little personal adventure. So I want the person that I give a whopping 0 American/Australian dollars to have really fought for it and demonstrated a large amount of game awareness. I have a pretty good idea of who I'm going to vote for, but I'm not going to reveal who that is yet. I want to keep you guys in anticipation. But what I do want to know is see how your pulse on this game really is, because I think more than luck, since you don't really have a real whole lot of sway in that, the thing that I think is most important in this game is self-awareness. So I want to know what all 3 of you, what you think your biggest strength in this game was, your biggest weakness in your game was, and also what your persona is.
Okay. My biggest strength, I think, in this game is that my social game, but it was also my biggest weakness because I wasn't around for the big group games that you all did together, except for that one, where I really got to know Logan a lot more in that game. I got to know you better, Jules especially. I didn't really know Jules a lot. So I find, you know, I get to know people, and I'm like, hi, I like knowing people. Aussies like to know people, and but also my weakness at the same time because I wasn't on enough. And what was the third question?
What's your persona?
Oh God. Okay, my favorite land animal is a meerkat.
Perfect.
So it would have to be a meerkat.
Perfect. All right. Who wants to go next?
May I?
You may.
Michelle totally stole my answer. Thanks, Michelle.
Sorry.
But I would say, not the meerkat part, I would say that my biggest strength is, again, probably my social skills, like my ability to get to know people. I know that I can be a little bit charming, and I know that I have a cute little Australian accent, and that's why I send videos and voice messages to people, because I know that that's going to help reel them in a little bit. I don't want to steal your weakness as well, but it's very, very similar in the aspect that I like people too much, so I feel really guilty. Like, I felt so guilty voting you out. I felt really guilty voting Logan out. I felt really guilty voting Jules out as well. Like, especially since the three of you had kind of opened up a door to me game-wise also. Which, Chris, I'm sorry, that's probably the only reason I don't feel guilty not voting, like, for voting Chris out. But I do feel bad for what I said in the video. But maybe I'm a little bit too emotional, and that could be a weakness for me. Like, I was super fucking bummed when, again, sorry swearing, when Logan got voted out. And again, voting you out on your birthday, like, that was harsh shit, and I'm sorry.
Who gives a shit?
Again,
sorry for all of us. For all of us, it was tearing our brains apart. Just got to tell you now that we can. Sorry, I'll mute myself again now.
No, it's awesome.
Not as
Rude,
much. Not as much.
No, you're good. You're good. I would say my first soda is probably a panda. A panda is my favorite animal, and I wear a lot of eye makeup. And as you guys know, I love mascara on the top and the bottom, and I'm a bit like clumsy and fumbly and, you know, roly-poly. So I would say a panda.
Cool. Awesome. And Curtis, finish this out.
Okay. My biggest strength in this game was surely my flexibility. And Nikki referenced earlier, like, okay, why did you lie to people? I lied to people to give myself the power to be flexible. I didn't want to lock myself in with one group because I was not positive one group was going to be all the way to the end. I had to take myself. My weakness, and this is shitty to say, and it hasn't been the case in other games, it was my ability to bond with people. It could be because I was working so hard to be flexible that it was tough for me to bond with people on that level. That could have affected that. It could be the personality types here. I feel like there were certain people, you being one of them at the beginning, that I felt like I put a little bit out there and I didn't get it back, and I would kind of recede. And like that happened with Logan frequently too. Spencer at the beginning too. So my ability to bond with people was hard in this game. And I don't know like all the rules of personas, but right now I'm going with like a duck, even though it's feathers, not fur, because ducks are quite loud and they are kind of aggressive, but then as soon as you show like anything back, they'll recede. So that's who I am. Like all bark, no bite sort of thing.
Alrighty. That last one was just for fluff. It doesn't matter. Insert joke here. But yeah, it was an awesome time playing. Whoever wins, congratulations. You all did what all of us could not, so that can't be taken away from you. And it was an awesome time at Sacred Valley, so congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you, Fox. And we're going to close it out with your last juror, Spencer.
Sorry, I had to leave something else real quick. All right. Hello, everyone. Although it's not been very long. I literally saw you all yesterday. I think I'm going to go one by one just because I have little questions to ask all of you, and I'm last, so I'll take the time that I want to take. I'll start with Michelle. There's an experience that hasn't really been talked about because nobody here in this jury except Chris, who's not here, and Lee, who was in very fleetingly, and then the both of us have experienced, which was the actual summit, which is when we get voted out, we could get challenges to come back in. And I think people have not clocked and acknowledged enough that you did that twice to come back in the game, and that wasn't easy. I know we experienced the challenges you had to do. My one was an absolute pain in the ass, so I know it wasn't easy. I just want you to, I guess, talk up that experience and tell people what it was like to be in that headspace of thinking you could be out of the game, but still wanting to put it in the effort to get back in. Because for me, that was something I really struggled with when I was at the summit. And I want to know if you overcame that. That's something that I respect a lot. Yeah.
When I knew the summit involved physical stuff, so the ping pong balls or the cups or something else that we had, I knew, well, I had the mindset, I'm just getting back in, because I can't do flash games. I'm pretty shocking at online games and things like that. So I always had the mindset, well, I'm at the summit, but I'm getting back in. I never thought I wouldn't get back in. Mind you, building a tower of red cups with your feet when you're my age, no one knows what age I am, but seriously, it is really hard. And then having to do it twice because we had to do it for the other challenge. I'm like, oh my God, not again. And then balancing the knife on the red cup with the water on it, like, I can go for a long time to do any sort of endurance challenge. So I never thought that I would be out. I thought I'd be able to beat everybody. But yeah, it plays with your mind thinking, oh God, I'm like the first photo out of my tribe. And I was more of the mindset, well, I'll show them. I'm getting back in. Sorry, guys, I'm getting back. And that was it.
That's awesome. And just, yeah, shout out to you and to Lee, who both had to do that twice. A lot of respect for that because it was not easy and it's pretty stressful. Okay, Curtis, on to you. I definitely on paper and coming into the jury was convinced I was going to vote for you because to me, and having been privy to the moves you made sort of in the late game of the merge, definitely thought on paper you played the best game. However, what I'm sensing from the jury, and this is me reaching out to hopefully pull you some votes here, is that you haven't been specific with that game. And the fact that I guess, like you're saying, I played the best game on paper, but the details aren't very clear to anyone that wasn't in that. So I think, Fox and I were probably privy to that, but not everyone else. So can you give people just a little bit more detail from Final 7, so the Logan vote onwards, and just really talk up your flexibility? Because for me, that's what impressed me most about your game, and I want to hear that in detail.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for that. So Final 7, I was in 2 group chats. I was in my group chat with Nikki, Kai, and Michelle, and I was pulled into a group chat with Fox, Spencer, Logan. I literally had the decision to make at that point. The reason I decided not to vote Kai out at that point, despite what Nikki is saying, is because I did not think for sure with the boys I was as locked to go to the end at that point. I think at that point, making that big move that early makes me too much of a target. It makes me too appetizing to be taken out, especially by somebody like Fox and yourself, who had already made a move on a big alliance, right? Because you guys didn't feel confident in your ability to get to the end with that big alliance. So I wasn't going to put myself in that spot, right? After Logan was gone, I was comfortable enough to make my move. And I told Fox right after that vote before immunity, okay, I have an idol. The plan is we're going to force a tie at 3. I told Fox that was my plan going into the round. The reason it was Nikki, I had less of a relationship with Nikki as I did with Kai and Michelle, right? So I had told you guys that, okay, I'm going to play the idol on myself because I didn't want you guys to be able to mess with me. And in the end, I played it on Fox to ensure Nikki was the one to go. That was my move entirely, and I don't regret it because I've been told since then that I would not have been taken to the end if I didn't do that. At 5, we didn't know where the idol was at that point. The idol could have been anywhere, right? So without knowing where the idol is, I'm not going to give away my position. So I was still in with you and Fox. I was still in with the girls. As soon as Kai comes back from the summit and she's like, oh, got the idol, and then got the other idol. Okay, guess what? Now I'm only with the girls, right? And I played that up hardcore. So after you were immune, I knew it was me or Fox at that point. I wasn't getting one of the idols, so it had to be Fox. At 4, I guess that flexible game was over at that point because I wasn't going to go to you prior to immunity results and say, hey, let's make a plan. Then you could easily use that against me. So I feel like from Final 7 on, I locked myself up and I made myself safe. And I had to work harder than anybody else to do that. So thank you very much for that opportunity. I appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you, Curtis. And yeah, Kai, I just want to finish with you. I got a couple of things. First one I want to start with is, and it seems very immature of me to be still stuck on it, but yeah, I think my youth and inexperience sort of came into this game, and as someone who is quite a few years your junior, I kind of looked up to you as a bit of a role model. I mean, we were both going through the Melbourne lockdown together, and so you were the only other person who really understood what that felt like, and I could communicate that experience to it. And I made it very clear that for me, to get through this lockdown, the thing that would make me the happiest is to make the merge and be on the jury like I am now, to be able to, have a say in the end game, because that's ultimately what you want to do if you don't get to the end. But you contributed to voting me out one round shy of the merge, and had it not been for 1 minute margin at the summit, my game would have ended there. And I will not lie, it's probably too emotional, but I was very sort of distraught for that whole day because I thought I'd spent 21 days and I thought I've made it to this next hurdle. And then you let me down really hard, and that wasn't easy for me. So firstly, I want to say, did you think that was worth it, I guess? Because for me, that's made it very hard for me to consider voting for you, for the whole point of the merge, if you were to get to the end. And I think I've made that clear to you. And then secondly, I just want to talk about limitations in this game and how I came into this with 0 outside connections whatsoever, while it's been made obvious that you had this connection with Michelle and Nikki. do you think you would have been able to play this sort of front leading game without that relationship, or do you think you would have needed to blend more into the background? Because I knew for sure coming into the game that my position didn't allow me to play a game like yours. I just want to know whether you think you would have fallen into a similar position that I had done, or whether you still would have led from the front. Sorry, that was a lot, but just had a lot on my mind. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, remember when Fox was asking us questions and I said that one of my biggest weaknesses was my emotions? I was so upset about voting you out, especially before merge. And 100% you can choose to believe that or not believe that, like that's up to you. But for me, I did have relationships in this game, like you said, and your plan of like striking on one side and then striking on the other side just didn't really work with what I wanted to do. And on top of that, you wanted to vote with a whole bunch of people that I had literally never spoken to at that point. So it made it really difficult for, like, had you gone with me on that vote, maybe, like, I can't say things necessarily would have been different, but the fact that you were going against what I wanted to do, and Corey and Nikki, who had literally just saved us, for me, that was something that I just couldn't do. So you didn't seem to know where you stand. And if you don't know where you stand, how am I going to know where you stand? So 100%, I feel like terrible voting you out at that point, especially knowing what things are like in Melbourne. And for me, like, this game helped get me through lockdown. And I feel like, you know, you were not in a great place after that. And I'm truly sorry. Like, truly 100% sorry that I hurt your feelings and that happened and that it was just before merge. Like 100%. Your second question, I will say, I do think that regardless of my relationships pre-going into this game, which wasn't up to me, that they just so happened to choose people who I had good relationships with. Trevor was somebody who I didn't actually have any good relationships with, and he's tried to vote me out of every single game ever. I've always outlasted him, though. So when he quit, I was actually like, whew, that's, you know, sidestepping a move there for me. But I have played many, many orgs, and I have gotten to the end of quite a few of those orgs not knowing people in the game. I do feel like with my strong relationships and the way that I get to know people, like I said, Jules and Logan approached me and Nikki about working with them. That would have happened even if I didn't know. Like, I still would have gone on and played all those games, like, if Nikki wasn't there. I still would have had all the conversations that I would have had if Nikki and Michelle weren't there. Like, yes, I was lucky to have that in this game, and it's like someone said earlier, part of it is luck. And it's like any season of Survivor where they know each other. And I get that other people didn't have that, but I still think that I played the best social game, and I also think that I played the best strategic game. Sorry, Curtis, I know you think you did, but so yeah, I do think that I was lucky to have that in the game, but I definitely think that I'd still be here without it. I didn't know Curtis before the game, and there was not a chance in hell that he was going to turn on me.
Thank you. And thank you, all of you. Sorry I took a bit longer, but the detailed answers were excellent, and I think the jury appreciates them as well as me personally. So
thank you.
Thanks so much, Spencer. And thank you to all of you for hanging in there. That was a lot of questions, a lot of responses. So we are almost done here tonight. I will give you each the chance to make a short closing statement if you would like. Try to keep it about a minute or less if you can, and then we will talk about what happens next. So whoever would like to go first for closing statements, feel free.
I can, since I went last time. Okay, I haven't played 39-day org in a very long time. I love them. I love getting to know people everywhere around the world, and it's one of the things that has actually changed the way I live my life. And I genuinely, you know, I'd love to see you again in another org. If not, if you want to be friends, Facebook friends, hit me up. A lot of people who play orgs come to Sydney, and then I show you around. So if you ever get to do that after COVID, I'd show you around. I love this org. I had a hard time, summit twice, swap twice. I have never survived a swap in a game ever. I'm usually voted out after a swap. Swaps are just bad for me. I think what helped me this time is having the social game and trying really hard to be online with people when I could be. And I think luck played a lot in this game for me, as well as my relationship with Kai and strong relationship that developed with Curtis halfway through. And I hope you vote for me. I have different facets to my game than the other two have. I think we all have our own merits, and I wish the other guys luck. Thanks.
Okay, I'll go next. All right, so I had an uphill battle coming in tonight. I knew that. I didn't come in expecting to be the winner, but I wanted to fight for it because I do think I deserve this. I don't think I crossed any lines or was malicious enough to deserve losing jury votes. If you feel differently, that's your total right. But for my morals and my values and who I am as a person, I don't think I did anything malicious to anyone. I played my own game. I wasn't dragged. I did it alone. And I think I did the best I could have. Josh, I hope you vote for me. You're an ally for life. Lee, I hope you vote for me. As a competitor, I voted you out 3 times. I hope you can respect that. Jules and Chris, I hope you respect that I played the game that you guys would have played if you had the advantage. I think one of you two would have been the winner if Tumblr had taken the advantage all the way through. And you guys were the ones talking to me the most, stringing me along, keeping that social connection with me. That's what I did with the Minority Alliance. So I hope you can give me that respect. Logan, thank you for making tonight interesting and entertaining. Nikki, I don't think I'm going to get your vote. But if you have any respect for how you were taken out or why you were taken out, it would be me. And then Fox and Spencer, you two are just gems. I appreciate you guys keeping the lines of communication open with me and just being really like respectful, hardcore gamers. To my 2 ladies, I love you so much with all my heart, and this was a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. I think that I agree with most of the things that people have said tonight, except for the fact that Curtis said that he played the most strategic game. And I'm sorry, Curtis, but I think that that was me. Because I genuinely think that you should have turned on me and you didn't, and you were never going to. Now, I obviously, like Curtis and Michelle said, however you guys want to vote is your prerogative. I've had a lot of fun tonight, been nervous as. It's always a bit nerve-wracking at this point, but I think that I played really hard. Like I said, I think that I was the most strategic player. There was several points throughout the game where all eyes were on me, and I still managed to survive. Even Spencer flat out saying that he's going to vote for me in the tribe chat. I had fun. I made some friends. So I think that that's awesome. I genuinely like you all, and regardless of what happens, I'm still going to be your friend. So if you ever come to Australia, let me know. We can go to Sydney and visit Michelle. But yeah, had a great game, had a great time. You guys asked some great questions. Thank you to the hosts, except for that one moment where you added everyone to my thread. But that aside, it was great. So guys, good luck with casting your votes, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you all, the finalists and the jurors. You've all done great tonight. We really appreciate your time and your energy towards this game, and hope that you all have had a good time. So next up, we are going to have the vote reveal tomorrow night. So for all the jurors, you have a little less than 24 hours to send your votes to your threads, and then we will do a live reading of them at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow in a chat, and then we will also have the reunion at that time. So you'll get to see everybody that was pre-merge as well and talk things out and, you know, celebrate the end of a good season. So we will see you tomorrow night. Final 3, try to get some rest, and jurors, send your votes as soon as you can. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks.